Hey everyone, and welcome to this Dota 2 beginner's guide on how to play Faceless Void. Faceless Void is one of the absolute best position 1 hard carries in the game. He has been a very traditional, excellent pick for new players, and he is always relevant in the meta thanks to his incredible ultimate, Chronosphere, which allows him to essentially lock down enemies in this time lock that allows him just to punch them until they can't get punched no more. A truly remarkable talent. But to talk about his skills just quickly, your Time Walk is an ability that allows him to kind of initiate, right? But it also allows him to disengage while healing for any damage he's taken within the last 2 to 2.5 seconds, okay, based on your talent selection. You also have Time Dilation. Time Dilation is an interesting ability because what you do is you cast an ability that debuffs the enemies, which decreases their progression towards cooldowns, which makes it so that they can't actually cast their spells as frequently. Very disruptive in team fights, and it can mess up the rhythm that most players are used to with their heroes, okay? You also have Time Lock. Time Lock does tremendous damage. Now, what you're seeing here is Time Lock with the added 70 damage at level 20, but Time Lock does not only a chance to stun your enemy, but it also has the bonus damage. So what you're going to get here is if he's trying to run away and we're hitting him, right? You see how that extra kind of like version of me pops out of nowhere and just kind of locks him in place? It's not happening now, of course, because RNG hates me. I'm recording a video, so it's like I'm not going to do it. You see that? Right? Basically, it procced multiple times, and it just locks him in place and lets you get a couple free shots, okay? It's awesome. It's truly remarkable. But as you can see, it's RNG based. It's based on like kind of like random. So sometimes you're gonna get like a time lock, and the enemy's like, I can't believe this guy's so lucky. And other times you couldn't buy one with real money. But you know what? That's what makes Faceless Void fun. It's like gambling sometimes at the casino. Am I gonna time lock or am I not gonna time lock? If you're anything like me, you never time lock. But anyways, he's a lot of fun to play. Now, Faceless Void is one of those heroes that has a very straightforward build. I mean, you can min-max this a little bit, but this build is very straightforward. Basically, what you're gonna do, you're gonna start with Time Walk at level 1 because you want to be able to negate some of the damage you take during the laning stage. You're gonna take some harassment, and if you ever find yourself in a unfavorable trade, you Time Walk away, put yourself under tower safely, and you're gonna heal yourself for that damage. It's like free regen, basically. Time Lock, you want Time Lock because it gives you a little bit of kill potential because of the ability for you to stun lock somebody. Not stun lock, but basically stun somebody if they're on top of you. And the added damage is pretty nifty as well. You also want a value point in Time Dilation because if you end up in a scrappy situation, not only is it doing additional damage, but you are going to really slow down their ability to, first of all, to cast their spells as effectively, okay? Really valuable. And then you're going to focus on getting Time Lock leveled all the way up. You're taking Chronosphere at 6, 12, and 18. The reason for this is Chronosphere is one of the best teamfight ultimates in the game. Now, there's some heroes that are very farming-centric, like a Sven or a Drow Ranger. Faceless is fight-centric. So when you have Chronosphere, you're still farming, but if you see the opportunity to get a kill or do a great team fight with Chronosphere, you do it. It's a great teamfight ultimate, and you're going to see that in the examples I'm going to show you after. If you see the opportunity to stop farming for a moment and get a game, like not a game winning, but like kind of like a huge win with a Chronosphere, you take it because you want to be active as a Faceless Void. You want to use Chronosphere off of cooldown. If it's available, you should be using it, okay? With regards to his talents, if you're relatively new to the game, I recommend you build into Time Walk at 10 and 15. It just gives you that versatility of added survivability. Getting the attack speed within Chronosphere will let you just basically murder like individual targets, which is fantastic. And the additional Chronosphere AoE, which can be tricky because you can actually catch your team in there, which is not beneficial because they get locked in place too. But, you know, you're going to catch the enemy as well, and you're going to be the carry, and you're going to be doing the most damage, so why not? With regards to starting items, okay, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go Tangos for the regen. You don't need too much regen as Faceless typically because you do have Time Walk. Don't forget, that's basically free regen. You want a Quelling Blade so you can do additional last hits and additional damage to creeps. You're taking Slippers, 2 Slippers, and 2 Iron Branches. This basically maximizes the amount of damage you're capable of doing, which is great. You're also not going to be building into Wraith Bands, because what's going to happen is you're going to use these Iron Branches in order to increase the healing from your Tangos, and then as you're building towards your Power Treads, you're going to be replacing, like, you know, the Gloves of Haste with this Iron Branch. You're replacing the Boots with this branch, and then when you finally finish the Treads, you have the spot available anyway because you've used these up. Okay, so it's a very efficient use of your slots. And then what you're going to do is you're going to build into Mask of Madness. This is a tremendous item for farming faster. You gain a tremendous amount of attack speed and movement speed, allows you to kill the camps very quickly, you get additional damage and attack speed, it's great. but you are silenced. So you don't want to do it in like the lane and then get initiated on, be silenced, and be unable to time walk out. That's how you die. So you want to use it while farming, and you want to use Mask of Madness when you activate Chronosphere. When you lock in a target with Chronosphere, you use the Mask of Madness. It'll look something like this, okay? So what you do here, I have a target I want to kill in Chronosphere, okay? I basically time walk in, I Chronosphere, so time walk, Chronosphere, I use the Mask of Madness, and I'm attacking way faster because I have the Mask of Madness benefit, okay? That's kind of how you'd want to do that. And then, Maelstrom. Why Maelstrom? Maelstrom's an interesting choice. Well, Faceless Void's all about attacking quickly, and Maelstrom allows him to not only farm more effectively because of the AoE type damage, but when he's focusing individual targets in Chronosphere, this allows his damage to kind of spread to others as well. And what's nice about it is it builds naturally into Mjolnir, which has active static charge, but also increases his attack speed significantly, which is exactly what Faceless Void wants. You want to attack fast because you want to time lock. The faster you attack, the more you time lock, and the more stun locked the opponent's going to be. So Faceless Void really benefits from this attack speed benefit. Faceless Void needs Black King Bar. Why, Alex? You have Chronosphere. No one can move. But what about the opponents outside of Chronosphere? The worst thing that can happen to Faceless Void is he Chronospheres, and he's trying to do something in Chronosphere, and he gets like stun locked from a support outside. Or a Bane grips him, and he can't do anything while the Chronosphere just expires. Okay? So he needs the Black King Bar to make him spell immune in Chronosphere, so basically he's impervious to all damage. No one can do anything to him. No one can walk up and punch him, and no one can cast a spell on him, okay? Chronosphere, Black King Bar need to be cast together. And then we talked about Mjolnir, and now I have Scatty. It helps to lock down the opponents with slow. It also makes you borderline unkillable with the stats. Optional items. Okay, sometimes you'll have to go Magic Wand. When you're going Magic Wand, you're going to get rid of your slippers, and you're going to get rid of, 2 Iron Branches, an Iron Branch or 2, whatever, and you're going to want a Magic Stick. This is if you're against, like, a Bristleback or anyone else, Skywrath Mage or whoever might spam skills in the lane. If you're against PA, if you're against a Carry Wind Ranger, you might want MKB. MKB is actually fantastic on Faceless Void because, again, he benefits from the attack speed, and because he attacks so fast anyways, he's going to have extra chances to proc that 70 magic bonus damage, which is really important. So MKB is actually a fantastic item on Faceless Void. Sanjin Yasha, the status resistance is helpful. He gets additional attack speed. He gets the regeneration amplification from Lifesteal, which is great with the Mask of Madness. It's just a good item. It's just a fantastic item for him. If you're against like Medusas or anybody else that does a ton of physical damage, Butterfly is great because the evasiveness, 35%, gives you a chance to just dodge damage and not take it. You also get attack speed, and the agility builds into your damage. Fantastic, right? Nullifier is great. Extra damage, gives you a little bit of utility. If someone needs to be dispelled very frequently, it's a good item. A little niche on Faces, but worth talking about. And Satanic is fantastic. It makes you borderline unkillable. What you do is you basically, once Chronosphere is done and you find yourself team fighting again and you're taking some damage, you pop Satanic, and all the damage you do basically heals you up. If you have Satanic with something like Sanjin Yasha, the amplification of the heal is going even further. It's just damn good, right? It's just damn good. All right, in this first example, I just want to give you a quick showcase on how to use Time Lock. So in this situation here, right, we're in a very harass-centric lane. These are two very strong laners, very awkward lane. We're moving in for the last hits. What you're going to see is I'm going to take a tremendous amount of damage thanks to the Undying and the Dark Seer here. So we're going to take a bunch of damage here. I'm not happy about that, so I use my my Time Lock, and what happens, you see that heal right there, right? It's very important to understand that when you are in a very challenging situation in lane, do not be afraid to use your Time Lock because it is basically a free heal. All right, now this is pretty interesting. Remember how I talked about how sometimes you want to be able to farm effectively, but if you have Chrono available, you want to make good choices? Well, here I am taking Ancients with my Hoodwink. Massive stack. Thank you, Mr. Hoodwink. Much appreciated. We try and stack again, but there's just too many. We ended up blocking the camp. We're taking this stack. But what you're going to see here is a couple different things. And I want to kind of showcase to you. I'm using my Mask of Madness. What you're going to notice, though, as I take damage, I'm going to time walk back and forth a little bit to kind of reset my health in order to like minimize the amount of damage I'm taking from the Ancient stack. But I'm also watching the map. And what I'm seeing here is that Hoodwink, my boy Hoodwink, who set up all these stacks for me, is getting gone on by Sven, who's in God's strength. So this guy is doing a ton of damage with Undying. And I identify rather quickly that, you know what? I got Chronosphere. I can do something about this here. He TP'd in. So what do? We make magic happen. I initiate in with Time Walk. I kill the Sven, and we get the kill on the Undying as well. I take the farm here because it's there, and why wouldn't I? right? We take the farm, and then what do you think I do? Right, I go right back to the Ancients. Oh, I was going to say, Alex, don't tell me I forgot that. I time walk towards the Ancients, and I finish them off. It's so important. It's so important that you understand that, like, you're a very active hero as a Faceless Void. You want to use your Chronosphere off cooldown, and you want to make sure that you're available for team fights when you're farming. Alright, in this example, what we're doing is we're doing a smoke onto this Sven. Now, this is an important concept. I just finished saying you're going to want to use Chronosphere off cooldown, but it's also really important that you identify sometimes when you don't have to use it, when you can save it. And this Sven dies, right? We want the gank, we want this Sven, he's their carry, but I identify right here, I don't need to use my ult, so I'm not going to use it. So instead, what do? We take the Sven down, right? I, you know, shamefully walk around a little bit aimlessly. That's, you know, that's just what I do, I guess. And we go right to Roshan. We take this Roshan, right? This allows us, and you can see I'm kind of time walking here and there to kind of backtrack some of the damage. I'm healing as I can. We take Roshan more or less solo, some help of the Hoodwink there, right? We take Rosh, and what are we going to do? We're looking for a fight. So we're setting up for the fight. We're in their high ground here. They're farming there. You know, I make a bit of a passive choice. I go push this mid wave here. I'm watching the top map here, and what I see is I see the opportunity for a fight breaking out. So what do I do here? Look, see, we see that the opportunity is coming. I have Chronosphere available. I also have the Arcane Rune. I got BKB. I have Aegis. My Mask of Madness is ready. We're ready to fight. So what I try and do here is I try to set up a good Chronosphere. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the high ground, right? And watch, I want to show you how effective Chrono can be. And also I want to teach you about how to not handle Chrono if you are a teammate, right? So War Runner gets a decent stun here. He misses the Sven, which is unfortunate. But again, I initiate in. I see the Sven. I catch him. He's my target priority. The Viper walked into the... I didn't want him to do that. I wanted him to attack the Darkseer, but what are you going to do, right? Long story short, but can you see how stun locked this guy is? I'm actually going to go back. I was telling you prior about how important time lock is in attack speed on Faceless Void, right? We get the kill, we wipe these guys up, but what I want you to see, he is stunned non-stop. Look at this. He hasn't moved yet. He's not moving. Oh, it's because he was in Chrono. You just don't see it. But even here, you're seeing what I mean, right? He's just been stun locked the entire time. The attack speed benefit on Faceless Void is tremendous because of time lock. It just locks guys in place with the stun. And we ultimately win this fight. And it all starts with, honestly, you know, making a good gank here, taking the Aegis, and then using an effective ultimate. Not wasting it the first time allowed me to use it the second time. Sven's died twice. Alright, in this example, I'm going to showcase to you why it's beneficial as a Faceless Void to go in second. I know a lot of people think Faceless Void, I initiate with Time Walk, I use Chronosphere, I go in first, my team follows up. Not always. Faceless Void often benefits from kind of waiting and seeing how the fight starts. Because remember, with Chronosphere, you kind of lock everyone in place, including your team. So you want to make a very effective Chrono. In this case here, I know that the Winter Wyvern's ultimate's not available. I also know that Dazzle can basically prevent me from killing anybody in Chronosphere. So, I'm going to catch my dude in here, it's fine. I want to kill this Dazzle. Dazzle needs to die. Dazzle does die. Now, Dazzle can't save anybody, right? Winter Wyvern, he can't use his ultimate yet. Undying's coming. I want you to see kind of what happens here. We do a tremendous amount of damage. Sven comes in. I have the Aegis. Watch. Sven, I'm still stunning him through his BKB. He can man fight me. He kills me. He can't kill me twice. I come back up, we finish the job, we're on a killing spree, and we win the game. It's that simple. Sven buys back. What do you think Sven's going to do? What do you think Sven's going to do? He doesn't have God's strength. His ultimate's done. My ultimate's done. But I'm a little more farmed. And what can a Faceless Void do? Right? He can stun lock guys. My team does a great job getting on top of him. We stun lock him, he's done. Game's over. Right? Faceless Void is a tremendous hero with attack speed. He's a tremendous team fighting hero, and as long as you can utilize your Chronosphere effectively with your team, you'll find great success. Let me know if you have any questions below, and we'll see you on the next Dota 2 Beginner's Guide.